My name is Vanessa Diamond, and I'm the director of HandsOn Greater Richmond, and we are a volunteer action hub for the Greater Richmond area. My work really consists of building the program. We are only 3 years old, so we have a lot of work to do, and we really are focused on trying to help individuals that are interested in giving back find the right appropriate kind of volunteer opportunity for them. So whether it's a one-time project or a longer-term commitment, we're trying to both help people find the right match for them, but also help nonprofits make sure that they're prepared and ready to take volunteers on and make sure that they get what they need done and make sure it's a meaningful experience. I got involved really sitting around with a group of friends and talking about how we wanted to volunteer and had a hard time volunteering. We would call agencies and they wouldn't call back, or they might have had long application processes, and we really felt like it was difficult for us to volunteer. So two friends of mine, Kristen Kaplan and Elaine Summerfield, really looked at each other and said, what if we started setting up projects? Do you think our friends would come? So we started setting up volunteer projects and inviting our friends, and they started coming. 6 months later, we started with about 10 people, and within about 6 months, we had about 300 people in an email database list. And from there, we just started building the program. We got seed funding. We joined HandsOn Network, which is a national affiliate, and got a volunteer matching database technology. And so in 2006, at the end of 2006, we had 1 or 2 projects a month, and now we've got 20 projects a month that we're partnering with different nonprofits and kind of a variety of other programming. A lot of times people are just excited we're here because they have the same trouble. They're looking around and they're not quite sure what they want to do, or they're not quite sure how to broach that relationship with a nonprofit. And so it's like sometimes I feel like we created ice cream. People are so excited just about the concept. And I think people are really busy, and what we've tried to do with our programming is create lots of different opportunities. So we have a calendar where there's one-time volunteer opportunities. You can literally look at the calendar and say, wow, next Tuesday I know that I can go to the food bank, or 3 Saturdays from now I can go and work at a homeless shelter and work with youth, or kind of a variety of different projects. And it's easy for people to be able to make that initial commitment and kind of test the waters and figure out if volunteering if that is the right volunteer match for them, or if there's something else that they want to be able to do that fits their schedule. So far people have been really excited, and I think want more. So we just have to continue to work with agencies to find more projects for them. My whole theory is no closed door. We really want anyone that wants to volunteer in the community, whether they are 2 years old, whether they are a 45-year-old, working mom, or a retired senior. We want to make sure that we have a good volunteer match for them. And so what we've tried to do is work with agencies to create different kinds of volunteer projects that meet different needs and different times. So we have evening projects, we have weekend projects. We also have the ability for people to search for long-term projects. There might be a nonprofit that's looking for a graphic designer or a tutor and mentor that's going to come in and make a semester-long commitment to a student. So we're starting to look at matching some of those. And then we also break it down by age. So there's certain agencies that will only allow people 16 and up in there. And so we try to make sure that we have enough information there, because we don't want someone to go and click a button and try to say that they're interested and then find out, oh, you don't meet this requirement. So we try to be as clear as we can. Our family-friendly projects are for parents and grandparents that want to volunteer with their kids. So we try to set up family projects every month. The Teen Impact Project is for 12 to 18-year-olds, and that's so they can be in a peer-to-peer setting and they can be with their friends and meet other teens in the area that are doing volunteer work. And then most of our other projects are kind of 18 and up, and there's, where I say for 18 and up. We get a lot of requests, obviously, for both, students who have required hours and also for court-ordered hours, people who need to fill a court requirement. And what we've been able to do so far is really just have a document that they can click and download with certain agencies that they can contact that would be willing to work with court-ordered volunteers. And then we're also developing a lot more longer-term relationships in projects. One of the most exciting things I think we've done is a national model called Teamworks, where we bring together a group of volunteers. It's usually 6 to 10 volunteers focused on one topic area. So we're in our 3rd one right now, and the individuals, it's focused on the value of art. So there's 6 to 8 individuals together, and they will volunteer as a group over the next 3 to 4 months. And within that, there's speakers from local arts organizations and cultural organizations that talk about the the field and what's going on and what different movements are happening within the arts sector. And then they'll volunteer with different types of art organizations. Some art organizations that are literally doing hands-on arts with youth or with senior populations, as well as theater groups and ballet groups and gallery groups. And our hope is that through some of these projects that individuals can start to understand what's going on in a particular area. The last model we did like this was on food insecurity. So they learned a lot about kind of food deserts and what's happening with people. And our hope is that those volunteers will come, they'll participate, they'll learn a little bit about that issue and volunteer with a variety of different organizations, but then hopefully be able to circle back to one of those organizations and take on a leadership role or be able to become more involved once they understand the issue with a little bit more complexity. So advice for someone who wants to volunteer is, I think there's a couple things. The first thing you want to do is think about, what are you interested in? Kind of make a list. Are you interested in working with animals? Are you interested in working with children? Or are you interested in being outside? Are you interested in doing office work? So I think the more that you can come to an agency or come to Hands-On and know a little bit about what you're interested in, what you want to do, the better match. And I think the next set of questions is about your time and availability. Do you want to make a weekly commitment, or do you want to be able to, commit to an agency for 3 months and then go to another agency or another project? Or do you want to make a year-long commitment? And I think once you start to figure out both what your interests are and then what kind of time do you realistically have to give back, that volunteer match will kind of filter up and sometimes just kind of pop up and you're like, oh, this is the right match for me. I knew I wanted to work with kids and I knew I could only do this for a 3-month period. Here's a great opportunity for me to work with this one program.